are we exactly building for this project? So Pi is layer 1 blockchain with its own native currency, Pi, and a platform to build Pi apps on top of it. Pi focus on utility building. That's one of therefore one of the core example apps that we can run on top of Pi is marketplaces. Pi has been quite different from other projects in its strategies, with the goal to achieve accessibility and mass adoption of cryptocurrency and create a utility-based ecosystem and Web3 world. There are three major strategies we have been adopting and following so far. One is growth, because we believe a real successful currency has to rely on large enough people holding this currency, recognizing it as a currency, and are willing to transact goods and services with this currency. So growth has always been a strategy. Therefore, we grow to over 35 million engaged members, and still growth has still been one of the core strategy. Decentralization is the second strategy. Decentralization is not just in the sense of technical decentralization, which all the testnet movement and also mainnet migration are in the process of decentralization. Utility building is the third strategy. We do it through the platform building, allowing not only ourselves, but also other developers being able to build Pi applications on top to create utility. While these three strategies still hold for the current period and going forward, we want to emphasize in a recent future more about the utilities. And what is about the utility we're trying to build is something that in a high level, we want to shift this community from extrinsically motivated community to an intrinsically motivated community. These two concepts, I don't know whether everyone knows, but I want to explain a little more. What is the extrinsic motivation? Probably many of you have actually heard and become very a buzzword is X to earn. Like run to earn, play to earn. This type of models is the essence of extrinsic motivation. And of course, many of them actually fail. So extrinsic motivation is a very powerful mechanism. It can glue people together, align interest, and also motivate people to align to do certain things together. But it depends on how you use it, how the project use it, and what end does it serve. Intrinsic motivated means it provides real utility. Be it the entertainment, means someone get entertained, that's one type of utility. Convenience, provide things that wouldn't have happened without this product, or solve a real problem that you have a need, you get fulfilled by this specific product. So examples of intrinsic motivated usage of a system, for example, the Zoom video call conferencing tool. People are using the tool to fulfill a need that they need to have meetings with remote people, and that need is fulfilled, and this is a utility. People's usage of Zoom does not depend on how high or low the stock price of the Zoom company. And another example is our use of iPhone is not affected by Apple's stocks, not necessarily. Like today, Apple stock drop, I stop calling my friend? No, not necessarily the case. That's why these products are intrinsically motivated for their user to use them. So what we are trying to do in the bigger vision or higher level strategy is that we want to shift our community from very much extrinsically motivated, shifting to intrinsically motivated, meaning that pioneers should want to come to Pinetwork regardless of whether there is extrinsic motivation, or MindPi is the extrinsic motivation for pioneers. However, in addition to that mechanism that help us grow this network, very powerful, strong, we want to make that shift into what type of utility it creates and provides. for the community. And that's part of the reason we also designed this enclosed network period, which is very, as I said, very different from other projects, very counterintuitive, because majority of the projects, their goal is to get listed. We specifically designed the enclosed period to nurture certain type of utility building that doesn't necessarily require external connections. And that type of utility will help nurture the mindset, educate the pioneers and the mentality of the community to shift from the overall speculative focused crypto community to a more like, what does this solve exactly? What need do I get fulfilled from this crypto network? And of course, I'm not saying open network is not good. It's the ultimate goal. So the timing of this depends on how in the enclosed period we can nurture certain type of utility building, and also the urgency of us trying to create utility that rely on external networks. Okay. And I want to answer, why do we need to do this shift? This is the key of real success in crypto world and the Web3 world. Crypto networks need to be able to provide real services than just a tool of speculation. And crypto and blockchain itself has a certain utility by nature. The decentralization, the anti-censorship, the completely self-sovereignty, all these are very good blockchain native utilities are real, but they're not necessarily commonly shared by mainstream audience. It is by very crypto enthusiasts, people who understand the meaning of decentralization, really have a problem of anti-censorship. Like for example, the beginning of Bitcoin, why it succeeds so much, it was actually because of utility, its own utility, the native utility of blockchain. Now we need to find, similarly for our network to succeed, we need to find real utilities. It can no longer be limited to small group of people who benefit from this type of native utility. Therefore, we need to build a platform that allow mainstream audience acceptable, understandable utilities to be tested, created, iterated, and produced. Pinetwork aims to complete this shift from extrinsic to intrinsic motivated community to give rise to new utilities in the format of Web3. Okay, take a lot of and to be honest, this process is not something that you say you do, you will achieve. This process, just to be a heads up, it takes a lot of trials of so many different pi-ups by the community, by us core team. It will be a lot of probably failures because real utility and product is not a for sure course. Nobody come out and say, oh, I can create something and then immediately next day it sells in the market. It's similar to that in that sense. It's just in the context of the crypto and Web3 world. The utility is real. Addressing a need of real humans want is real. So it's like creating a startup or business. After its success, everyone can say, oh, such a simple idea. Like Facebook, oh, just a simple idea. Everyone, create a social network with a real name. But before its success, it takes so much time and iteration. And actually so many trials before Facebook. There was MySpace and all these social networks, and afterwards a bunch of social network attempts, but only this one succeed. So what I'm trying to say is there's no for sure thing that the utility is easy. Not the first app we roll out, not the first batch of developers who rolled out their Pi apps on Pi platform, it will hit the utility. But Pi hopes to create an environment that nurtures utility building and support developers in utility building, and educate our community for the mindset of focus on utility. We, as a Pi network, we have a good start. We have good resources that enable us to actually on a good stepping stone for the utility building together. What we have is first, large social network and community. The beginning of the motivation for me and Nicholas to create this project was actually coming from our years of experience in human-computer interaction. Human-computer interaction is study of how to design systems, computer systems, for people to use and scale the usage. In a core concept inside the human-computer interaction is user iterations. Users need to give you feedback about whether your tool or your system is useful or not. And you keep taking the feedback, of course, process them, and inform your product design. This loop has to happen many times. As I said, the Pi apps will fail many times. However, in crypto, before we created Pi, we identified a big problem for crypto being able to be mass adoption and also real utility building is that there is limited social networks. Even at the time when we were teaching Stanford students in the class of building decentralized applications, at the time Ethereum was the best platform in terms of developer tools and environment. Our students actually built multiple many projects for the class. However, there's no one using it. There is not even people testing it. No one uses it. A lot of great ideas, but there's no people. So why Pinetwork is different from other networks? Because we're stepping on top of this amazing large community. And this community creates the environment that is suitable for any real product designing and improving. So a large social network and community is the resource that Pinetwork have in order to reach the path of utility building.